Blue 13 is Robert Bortuzzo, May 13th, 2019. Okay, sometimes the guy at the edge of the lineup can give you the cleanest picture of the whole team, and that's Robert Bortuzzo in Game 2 of the 2019 Western Conference Final. Not the captain, not the goalie, and not the scorer that everybody came to see. He's just a third pair defenseman in and out of the lineup, trying to stay ready and try not to make the mistake that gets him parked again. Then he scores the game winner. So here's the question right away. Who's your favorite? Wait, that guy? Playoff hero. Not the Hall of Famer and not the obvious dude. The guy where the whole bench looks around like, hey, did that just really happen? The game's May 13th, 2019, Blues at San Jose. Game 2 at the Sharks. The Sharks lead the series 1-0 after punching St. Louis in the face, Game 1, 6-3. St. Louis looks dangerous. Logan Couture is nuclear, or as George W. Bush would say, nuclear. The Sharks have already survived Vegas in 7 and Colorado 7 games. They're playing like a team that's been through every weird possible playoff scenario. But the Blues, they're different in a weird way. This is the 2018-19 St. Louis team that was dead last in January. New coach, last in the league. New goalie, bad vibes. Teammates are fighting at practice. Somehow by May, they're not alive. They're in the conference final, acting like every bad thing that happened earlier was just part of the origin story. So they beat Winnipeg in 6, and they survived Dallas in 7. Pat Maroon, hometown boy, double overtime, Game 7, all that movie stuff. And now they're trying to make sure San Jose doesn't turn this into a quick problem, because down 2-0, going back home isn't death, but it's paperwork. Robert Bortuzzo was born March 18th, 1989 in Thunder Bay, Ontario. He's a big right shot defenseman, 6'4", the kind of player whose game doesn't always show up cleanly in the box score because a lot of it, body position, edge, penalty kill trust, and just basically not being very fun to play against. Pittsburgh drafted him in the 3rd round in 2007, 78th overall. He came up through Kitchener in the OHL, then through Wilkes-Barre Scranton in the AHL. Not a blue chip glamour prospect. He's more what you'd call a slow build defenseman. Learns the details, gets stronger, stay annoying. Wait for the league to decide whether it has room for you. He gets NHL time with Pittsburgh, but the Penguins were always chasing something bigger. On March 2015, they moved him to St. Louis for Ian Cole. In hindsight, that trade's funny because Cole goes on to win cups in Pittsburgh. Bortuzzo goes on to become exactly the kind of depth piece that St. Louis eventually needed. His Blues career isn't the same smooth Disney montage either. He's hurt, he's scratched, he's extended, he's trusted. Then he's not. Then he is again. December 2018, when the Blues are still a mess, he gets into that practice fight with Zach Sanford. Depending on how romantic you want to get, you could say that was a symptom of a team falling apart. Or you could say it's one of those moments where the team stopped lying to itself. But what do you think? Does a practice fight ever help a team? Or is it just that old hockey mythology trying to sound useful? By this night, Bortuzzo's played in only part of the playoff run. He's not guaranteed anything. He's the kind of player who has to make the simple play 20 times before anybody praises him. If he makes one ugly one, everybody sees it. Also, tiny piece of hockey nonsense. Before this game, Bortuzzo hadn't scored a postseason goal at any level since March 2007 with Kitchener. That's 4,434 days, if you're counting. His coach on that Kitchener team was, Peter DeBear, San Jose coach watching from the other bench in this game. Also, Peter DeBear. Hockey does this sometimes. It starts writing its own callbacks. The game doesn't start perfectly for San Jose. At 2:34 of the first, Jaden Swartz makes it 1-0, and that matters because the Blues don't want to chase this team again. St. Jose can run, and the Shark Tank gets loud pretty fast. A clean first goal calms the whole building. Early second, Vince Dunn makes it 2-0, and for about 39 seconds, looks maybe like St. Louis might have the steering wheel. But then there's the turn. Pardon me. Logan Couture steals one shorthanded, goes in, hits the brakes, and beats Jordan Binnington. It's 2-1. Less than 2 minutes later, Couture scores again. Tie game, just like that. The Blues' work is gone. New game. Couture looks like he's trying to drag the Sharks to June all by himself. This is where the game gets interesting. And not because the Blues dominate, not because San Jose disappears, but because St. Louis doesn't finish. They don't flinch either. Late in the second, Joel Edmondson finds Bortuzzo jumping into space. It's not a guy drifting in for a harmless point shot. Bortuzzo attacks the shot, gets the puck, shifts to the backhand, and roofs over Martin Jones. Robert Bortuzzo, backhand shelf, come on. Western Conference Final, it's not supposed to be the sentence. You can see why the Blues loved it. It's not just that he scored. It's that he scored like a skill guy for 3 seconds. That's the best kind of playoff depth goal. The kind where the star players are laughing because they know they just witnessed something he's absolutely going to hear about for the rest of his life. The goal makes it 3-2 St. Louis with 3:26 left in the second, but it ends up being the answer. The other Bortuzzo moment might be just as important. In the third, Blues protecting that 3-2 lead. Kevin LeBlanc gets a good look from the shot. Bortuzzo throws that big frame down on the ground to block it. That's the real Bortuzzo play. The goal's the fun part. The block, that's his entire resume. 16:52 of the third, Oscar Sundqvist gives St. Louis breathing room 4-2. That's your final. Series tied 1-1. And the Blues have stolen back their home ice advantage. Yay. After the game, the room is basically delighted for Bortuzzo. Ryan O'Reilly talks like the whole bench had the same reaction as everybody watching at home. Wait, what was that? Braden Shen leans into the teammate part of it, the glue guy part. The every room needs one. Bortuzzo keeps it very clean in Bortuzzo. He found a hole, took the chance, and he put it home. On San Jose's side, Couture's not throwing confetti for his own 2 goals. He basically says the Sharks were flat, and even after tying it, they didn't really have the full team energy they needed. The Bears version's even harsher. You can't just do enough work to hope the game breaks your way. You've got to dictate. And that's the entire story of the night. San Jose is the most dangerous player. St. Louis has the better team game. And that matters because the series is about to get stupid. Game 3 goes to overtime and becomes the hand pass game. San Jose wins. Everybody in St. Louis loses their brains correctly. Feels like the kind of thing that can crack a team. But it doesn't. The Blues win Game 4 at home. Then they go back to San Jose, win Game 5, 5-0. Then they close it in Game 6, 5-1. Suddenly, St. Louis Blues, Stanley Cup final for the first time since 1970. Then Boston, Bortuzzo scores again, Game 2 of the final. Then Carl Gunnarsson, of all people, wins it in overtime. Then the series gets nasty. Game 7 in Boston, the first Stanley Cup in franchise history. Bortuzzo doesn't play in Game 7. That's perfect and a little cruel in the way hockey can be perfect and cruel. He's still part of the run. He's part of the room. Still one of the reasons the Blues had enough bodies, enough snarl, and enough belief to survive 2 months of playoff chaos. After taking home the cup, Bortuzzo stays in St. Louis for years. He plays depth minutes. He takes hard matchups when asked and keeps taking the same general concept. He's not fancy, soft, or easy to remove. In December 2023, the Blues trade him to the Islanders. In 24, he signs with Utah. His last NHL season is 24-25. By the end, he's basically getting a veteran's goodbye in St. Louis, the place where his career honestly meant the most. He finishes with 577 career regular season NHL games, 76 points, 533 penalty minutes, 1 Stanley Cup ring. It's not trivia. It's a career. Maybe that's why this game works so well for Blue 13, because Robert Bortuzzo isn't the story of the 2019 Blues by himself. He's proof of concept. If your seventh defenseman, I'm drunk. If your seventh defenseman can step into a conference final and give you the game-winning goal, what exactly are you supposed to do with that? How do you beat a team when the role players keep taking turns becoming the main character? So, anyway, next up we leave the ice, go back to Oracle for Warrior 38. Hold on. Oh, shit. All right, Warrior 38 is Harrison Barnes. Where's Harrison Barnes? I wrote it down here somewhere, I swear to God. Maybe I didn't. Well, anyway, Harrison Barnes, Warrior 38, April 2, 2015. The Warriors are already becoming the machine. Barnes gets one of those final second moments that reminds you the dynasty wasn't built only out of Steph and Draymond and Clay. Sometimes it needed the quiet wing to make the last out and take the last shot. For now, that's Blue 13 Robert Bortuzzo, May 13th, 2019. He's a depth defenseman who jumps through a hole. Playoff series resets, and the Blues keep proving their weirdest season still has stranger places to go. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate if you're still here. Maybe I'll see you next time.